If you're planning to take on a triathlon this year, getting your nutrition right can make all the difference to getting to the finish and having fun. I'm delighted to be joined by multiple IRONMAN Champion Lucy Gossage. What should we consider when planning our nutrition strategy for a middle distance triathlon?
Well, carbohydrates are high energy fuel for endurance events. It helps you go faster and further. But unfortunately, we've only got a small amount stored in our body, and it's depleted after less than 2 hours of swimming, cycling or running. Now, carbohydrate refueling will substantially extend your endurance by giving you the extra energy you need. You'll enjoy your event more, but you'll also feel stronger, particularly later on. So obviously we lose fluids and electrolytes when we sweat, and if we don't replace these fluids and electrolytes, then we get dehydrated. Dehydration can really affect your performance.
Numerous tests by independent sports scientists have shown that simply switching to the High-5 Advanced Nutrition Guides on the day of an event enabled athletes to go faster and further compared to other brands of nutrition. So let's have a look at what you should be doing for your next middle distance triathlon.
So an ideal pre-race breakfast is light but high in carbohydrates with just a little bit of protein too. So muesli, porridge, rice pudding, all of these are good options for carbohydrate. A poached egg or omelette would be a good source of protein. Take 2 energy gel or isogel sachets with 200 to 300 ml of water or zero about 15 minutes before the start. And that's your fuel for the swim. So a middle distance race is often won or lost in terms of nutrition during the ride. Now, how much you can drink on the bike does depend on the weather conditions. In warm or hot conditions, the scientific 2:1 fructose and electrolyte formulation in the High-5 energy source means that you can drink up to 1 litre per hour. So this gives you fluids, electrolytes and also carbohydrates for your energy.
Some athletes also prefer an electrolyte-only drink, like High-5 Zero. This is a calorie-free, hydration-only drink, so make sure that you get some energy from other foods. Depending on what drink you use and how much you drink, you also need to take on carbohydrates from bars and gels. You should be aiming for 60 to 90 grams of carbohydrate per hour.
So you need to start drinking and eating as soon as you've settled down into your rhythm after transition to make sure you keep your stores topped up. You might not feel like it straight away, but I promise you it will make a difference later on. So I always try and eat and drink little but often throughout the ride to make sure I'm giving myself a steady supply of energy.
Here's a few examples of what you can consume during each hour of the ride if you're drinking energy source. If you're drinking zero, then 1 energy bar and 1 gel per hour will provide you with just over 60 grams of carbohydrate. For gel intake, you can either use energy gel or isogel, depending on your personal preference. In comparison, a banana will provide you with around 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrate, depending on its size.
On to my favourite bit, caffeine. Caffeine gives you both a physical and a mental boost. So when you're taking part in tough sports events, caffeine really helps increase your endurance performance. So that means that you can go faster than before without even doing any extra training.
Scientific research has shown that an effective dose is 3 milligrams per kilogram of body weight for increased endurance performance. On the screen, you can see how much caffeine you need to take, depending on your body weight, and an example of what you could take to get there.
So in a middle distance event, I'd take caffeine at the start of the bike leg so that I can benefit from the caffeine for the rest of the race.
Your body removes caffeine from your bloodstream over time. Once you've loaded up with caffeine, you should top up with 30 milligrams of caffeine every hour. Energy Gel Plus and Isogel Plus each contain exactly 30 milligrams of caffeine per sachet. If you take a second gel in the same hour, this should be the non-caffeinated gel.
If for any reason you don't want to use caffeine, then simply switch the caffeine products for the non-caffeine equivalents from High-5. So when you're running, it's easiest to get your carbohydrates from gels. You can take up to 3 sachets of High-5 energy gels or isogels per hour.
That will give you around 60 grams of carbohydrates per hour. If you're using caffeine, then 1 gel should be the plus variant with the caffeine to keep you in that caffeine performance zone. Any remaining gel should be the non-caffeinated gel.
To stay hydrated, drink water or High-5 Zero. If you want to drink Coke, then you should probably reduce your gel intake by 1 for every 400 ml of Coke that you drink, starting with a caffeine gel. If it's hot, you might also want to think about taking some salt tablets. These are really easy to carry. So when we exercise, our muscles become energy depleted and actually start to break down. When you compete in a tough triathlon, you really do push your body to the limit, so expect some soreness and stiffness afterwards. Consuming some protein and carbohydrates as soon as you finish really helps to replenish your muscle energy stores and kick-starts the repair and recovery process.
Drink a bottle of protein recovery as soon as you finish. This contains a unique blend of whey protein isolate and carbohydrate. It gives you the time to have a shower and relax a little bit before eating a balanced meal 1 to 2 hours later.